Hello guys, we are back here with another very awesome deck. We have here Shaddolls. This is one of my overall favorite decks that have ever been created is Shaddolls. I really love how they play, I really like playing them. And we're here with another Shaddoll deck. I think we've been doing Shaddoll decks for a year now. Like, I need to check to see when the first Shaddoll deck profile I made was. It was a long time ago, but it was around this time of the year. So wow, Shaddolls after year still doing pretty decent. Granted, we haven't had the ban list, so and many people are all calling for Duelist Alliance cards to be getting hit right now. And so yeah, and as far as Shaddolls go, I feel that they are a really big competitor because on a Tonalith, like if only it was like Winda. If it was like Winda and couldn't be destroyed by card effects, like Shaddolls probably would just wreck everything because they'd be like, Mega on a Tonalith, no call, no rituals, just no ambush, just no. On a Tonalith, I love the card. So let's just go right into the deck profile. There are a couple tech cards in here that I think really about the deck. BLS, of course, you just run BLS in the deck. Vanity's Fiend, I like putting Vanity's Fiend in, although he isn't necessary. I feel like he gives the deck a lot of advantage. You make your good synchro monster, you make like a Clear Wing or maybe an Almaties or a Leo, and then you plop down this card and it can be really annoying, especially if you have Deneko already out on the field. He will be a card that I will side out sometimes, but he is really good. He just can poop on a lot of decks and just be like, yeah, no. Especially if you have Deneko. If you can get out Deneko and this guy, then you're in a good situation. 3 Beasts. As far as the Shaddoll monster goes, we're running 2 except for Beast and Falco, and those guys we're running 3 because they are the heart of the deck. You want to use Beast, Falco at pretty much every turn. You want to use a Beast or a Falco effect because it will let you draw or give you access to drawing. And you just get to go through your deck. It gets to your really get to the heart of your deck and get to the cards that you don't have searches for, such as your Max Cs and the whatnot. 2 Dragons. Sometimes I feel he should be put up to 3 because it's really sad when you need to pop something but you don't have any more dragons. And it can be really frustrating, especially seeing how Mathematician is in here, and he's just really good to just go, okay, he has an extra deck monster, I have Shaddoll Fusion, I'm going to summon Mathematician and send Dragon, and then you don't have any more dragons, or the dragon you have is in your hand, in which case it makes it very hard to start doing things. 2 Squamata. The thing to know with Squamata is if you're searching for a Hedgehog, use Hedgehog to either search out Falco, if you plan on setting Falco, or Squamata. Because Squamata can be whatever you want, as long as you have access to some way to get him into the graveyard. So he's really good. If you feel like you need to do a lot of deck thinning, then don't be afraid to send Squamata for no real reason. Just like you're summoning Construct, and then you send Squamata, and then you send Beast instead of just sending Beast. So it just depends on your playstyle. Some people say it's good to just send Squamata and get him out of your deck for deck thinning purposes. Other people say no, keep him in so that way you have more fusion targets. 2 Deneko because we only main 2. I feel 3 would be a little bit too much because you don't know what you're going to go up against. But we do have the 3rd one in the side. And do note, in real life, online you can't do this, but if you're playing in real life and if you're maining 2 cards and then you're side decking a 3rd card like the Deneko down here, make sure the 3rd Deneko that's in your side deck is a little bit different. Like make it either a different language if possible, or have it be like the I'm not even sure. No, it's only been printed once, so try to find some way to make it different. So that way when you're playing and you see that card, you know that it's the one you sided in. It's like, okay, this really helped. Because like playing online, and you see 2 Deneko, you don't know if there was the 2 you main or one of them was the one you sided in. 3 Mathematicians, just to go for deck thinning purposes, help to let us get started. Do note if you want to send Beast, which is a card that you probably are going to send, you have to send Squamata because you can only send a level 4 or lower monster. 2 Hedgehog to search, you flip effect will search a Shaddoll Spell Trap card? Yeah, Shaddoll Spell Trap card, despite the fact that there aren't any yeah, he will search Shaddoll Core. Didn't realize that, must have forgotten about it because nobody searches Shaddoll Core. 3 Falco will special himself, is sent to graveyard, and if he's flipped face up, you're special the Shaddoll monster with face down defense position, allowing you to get off the flip effects. So really lovely, really awesome. 3 Max C, because Max C is just good against a lot of different decks. Oh yeah, and then we run 2 Yukio Sagi's also into effect Veilers to complement the Max C. So just great against a lot of decks. Again, Ritual Beast I don't feel can play well under Max C because they don't have the ability to get a huge board and then just push for game. I mean, even if they make Ulti-Guy Paleo, they may only have 3 to maybe 5 cards in their hand, and you probably drew like 5 or more cards. So you should be able to deal with that. So I don't feel Mature Beasts can play well in the Maxi, so this is a really good card. Great against Tellarknights because they, I mean, it's always, let's see, Vega, you draw off of Vega's effect, draw off of Altair's effect, and then you draw off of the XZ summon for Trigger, and then that's +2, so Tellers is really good against. Ritual Beast, obviously, it's really good against because that makes it a +1, yeah, because of the XZ summon. Treeborn Fog, he's here to make Anatonolith and do some wacky combos because he is a level 1, so he can help us with the Synchro summons. But I will side him out if I don't think Anatonolith will really do anything in that match. For example, Burning Abyss, I don't feel Anatonolith is really going to help, so I will side out Treeborn Fog. There's no real point. But he also here complements our Vanity's Fiend, just special summoning himself out, and then you can go, okay, plop down Vanity's Fiend, and then so he's really helpful. And then we have the Glow Up Bulb. I like Glow Up Bulb more than Peru because he's a tuner, a level 1 tuner at that. So he just allows us to do more shenanigans, even if it includes needing to make like a Starter, because Starter is greater than Towers. Starter will run over Towers, so you can make a Shack and then use Glow Up Bulb's effect to special himself out and then make Starter. And then to effect those. Do note with these cards, you're pretty much going to fusion construct with them, so you might not really use their effect all that much. You just have to decide, okay, which is more important, fusion summoning construct and going through your deck, and maybe setting up for next turn, or negating your opponent's stuff. So you have to think about that. Once Nodin comes out, though, it's going to be a little bit easier, because it doesn't feel as bad, because it's like, okay, I'm sending them to the graveyard, and then I'm just going to use Nodin to spouse them that. You still have to decide, do I want to use their effect, or do I want to fusion summon? But it'll be a little bit easier to decide. It'll be not as punishing because going through your game and you're seeing 2 effect failures in the grave and it's like, I didn't even use their effect, I just fusion summoned with them. They're not doing anything. It can be a little bit sad. Same with Yu-Gi-Oh! Sagi, but you just have to decide. And then 1 Rejeki, 2 Dark Hole, 2 Shaddoll Fusion. We side 1 Dark Hole. 2 Shaddoll Fusion, and then we have 3 Elf Shaddoll Fusion. We only run 2 because, in all honesty, you just really want to get off that first turn fusion summon. Your very first turn, you should be fusion summoning, otherwise it can be a major setback. So you just want to make sure you can open up with 1 of these cards, and afterwards, if you draw into too many, they can clog, because if you have 2 Shaddoll Fusions, you can't use both of them in 1 turn, so it isn't going to really help you all that much. Many times, late game, I will just send them to the graveyard to get them out of my deck so I don't draw them, and I draw something better like Effect Vero or Max Speed. So that is something to note. And I decided 3 El Shaddoll Fusion because it is quick play, it does allow for more shenanigans, so it is a little bit better. And then Swiss Army Knife here with a Foolish Burial, just whatever you want. It can be a Upstart, it can be a MST, it can be Special Falco, it can be a Rhoda, just whatever you want. It just depends on the scenario. And then here is another tech of mine. This is Battle Fusion. I feel this card's really good because Winda's good. The thinking I had behind this is that Winda's weak, and a lot of times your opponent's just going to make 1 monster to attack over Winda, and then she disappears. And this card isn't honest. When an attack is declared involving a fusion monster you control and an opponent's monster, your monster gains attack equal to the attack of the opponent's monster to the end of the damage check, meaning that create 1 Battle Fusion per turn. So yeah, so when it has 2200 attack, your opponent makes a Dante, they use this effect. Mill 3, he has 2500 attack, he attacks, you flip this, and they cry because they don't get to kill Winda. In fact, their Dante just died and they took 2200 damage. So that's really sad for them. Or they make Apelio, Apelio, and they tried to attack and failed, and then they lose their monster, so now they might not have anything at all. So this card is really good just to make sure that Winda doesn't get attacked over. I mean, if you're playing against a deck that runs a Lance, and sometimes people will Lance Winda to lower her attack, it won't do as much, but it's not much you can do. And that's it. Scenario. This is just, I just feel it's really good just having this honest in here, just being like, yeah, no. Some other cards that I thought would be really good would be Refusion, specifically once Noting comes out. Once Noting comes out, Refusion would be really helpful in this deck because just like Special Summon Construct or Special Summon anything, it just lets you cycle. Because they do not let run Jar of Avarice, I decided to take that out. And 4 trap cards, 3 Sinister Shadow Games, and then Shaddoll Core, just the standard Shaddoll traps, pretty much. And that is it for the extra deck. We run 2 Construct, 2 Winda, 1 Check, and 1 on a Tunnel. Pretty much that's how it goes for a lot of decks. Sometimes I wish I ran 3 of these guys because they are the ones you make the most, but I feel 2 is really good, specifically for Construct. Sometimes 3 Windows can be really nice because it's just like, again, that control, if you can get that control out on the field, it can be really nice. Doesn't matter what deck you're facing, if they just can't get over Winda, and again, she can't be destroyed by opponent's card effect, so Rejeki Dark Hole doesn't do anything to her. And so she's just really strong. So sometimes 3 would be a good idea. You just have to make the choice. And then we run a whole bunch of Synchros because I don't like to XZ summon in this deck because like making rank 4s like a Bistro, you'd have to have a Dragon in his Squamata or Deneko Saka. And I would not want to XZ summon with a Deneko Saka. I don't like fusion summoning with Deneko Saka. So I don't really see that often getting Dragon and Squamata out on the field. I don't even like them out on the field for any reason. If they're on the field, then either I should be going for game that turn, I should be fusion summoning with them in the battle phase, or I should be using their effects. That means I'd be setting them. So in any of those cases, they're not really too optimal, except for the first 2. Really, those would be okay times to summon them. But I mean, there's better monsters to summon, like Hedgehog, Beast if you feel like tribute summoning, and Falco is of course the best one. Or Mathematician and Deneko Saka are good normal summons. So I don't really feel it's worth it making rank 4s in the deck. So Star Eater gets over what's his face, Towers, because Towers will lower his attack to 27, Star Eater will attack, and then Star Eater will go back to 32, greater than Towers, and then Towers will be destroyed. You can make them with Falco and Shaddoll Core. I mean, you can make them with Ghost Ogre and Construct. So that's something to think about. Leo's awesome in the deck because you make them with Falco and Construct, and then Construct effect will trigger to add back a Shaddoll spell trap card from your graveyard. So Leo is really awesome, and he cannot be targeted, so he really hurts a lot of decks. I mean, Trevor is still annoying, but like, so would be Steeds, because Steeds doesn't target. But Burning Abyss though, Burning Abyss won't be much they can do if you make Leo. Mistworm, I just like Mistworm a lot. He can be a little bit tricky to make, but once again, Noting comes out, it'll be even easier. He is a level 9, so you'd need, you could do it with these 2 and then a Glow Up Bulb or an Effect Veiler. It's just, every now and then it'll pop up, and Mistworm just really helps when you can make them, because it's just target up to 3 cards your opponent controls, and return those cards to the hand, so it's like extra deck monsters, spell or trap cards, they just disappear. And then we run a whole bunch of level 7 Synchros. Clearwing, great against a lot of different matchups. Moonlit, again, this is good against Burning Abyss and Necros on Necros. And so, this card's just really good. Just bounce stuff away. Virgil will disappear. And then we run Black Rose and Arcanine Magician for destruction. Just getting rid of stuff. No rank 6s, I don't run rank 6s. Sometimes I feel I should, but I don't. Almaties, and then Catastor. Catastor is just another construct. Great against Yosenjus, because Yosenjus are all wind, but then again they can just bounce him. So if you can like make something like a construct or something they have to get rid of, like maybe even Shek, as they can't really attack over Shek all that often. And then Catastor, they have to choose between one or the other. So that can be very good play, because Yosenjus are a very tricky deck to face, and so are Infernoids for that matter. And that will be it for the extra deck. And as far as the deck and the main deck plays as a whole, again, this is a deck that has a side deck, so it's not trying to be perfect against everything. That's where the side deck comes into play. But it is very good. Sometimes I feel like I should run Exodius like they did back once these cards came out. If you guys remember back then, people ran Exodius to return all the monsters to the main deck. And sometimes I feel that, but like I don't see too much problem. I feel this is a good ratio. Shaddoll monsters to Shaddoll spell and trap cards, and non-Shaddoll monsters and whatnot. The only problem I see with this deck is maybe Vanity Scene shouldn't be in here. Like It's just something that I'm still trying to figure out if it's worth it. He just gives a lot of control if you can get him out, so he is something to think about. But at the same time, yeah, the only other problem would be not really using effect failure. Like, I'd rather use an AD changer if I'm using something from deck, but once noting comes out, then it won't matter. It'd be like, okay, I'm sending this card to the graveyard, so that way I can synchro summon later on. So now time for the side deck. 3 lands here, Ritual Beasts and Necros will just die once this card comes out, pretty much, because no banishing is really powerful. And so if I were to side these in, depending on the matchup, if I was facing Ritual Beasts, then I'd probably side out the effect failures, and that would give me 2. And so if I was facing Ritual Beasts, and maybe one of the shaddoll, maybe an El Shaddoll fusion at one point. So yeah, but if I was facing Necros, then I'd have to side out Yuki Hosagi. Probably Yuki Hosagi. And then, again, probably an El Shaddoll fusion. The Neko Seka, this would be another card I'd side in against Ritual Beasts. Flying Sea is in here for the Burning Abyss matchup. You can't forget Burning Abyss. They will sneak up behind you and then just stab you in the back, like they did at Prague, and then at Nats. It's weird. I'm honestly a little bit surprised at Burning Abyss won. Just saying it. One effect failure, side this in against Necros or Yosenjus, I guess I'd side this in. If I was facing Yosenjus, I'd side out Maxi, Vanity's Fiend, Treble and Fog, because they don't run Call. Yeah. Dark Hole, just one Dark Hole, side this in against Tellarknights, against just different decks. 3 MSTs against back row heavy deck, and Pendulum, so Clearfoots, same with the Fairy Winds, side those guys in against Clearfoots, and then back row heavy decks also. And then 2 mistakes, side this in against Tellarknights, or whatever. Oh, searches a lot, so like Necros, of course, I'd side this in. Ritual Beasts, I'd probably side this in. Yeah, I'd probably try to side this in. And so yeah, that would be the side deck. This is just my look on the meta. I feel this is a very good, for Shaddolls, a good side deck that Shaddoll should have. And yeah, this shall be the Shaddoll deck profile for July 2015. So, still waiting on the ban list. Who knows, this deck could get wrecked. Beast to 1, Falcon to 1, Construct to 0, Winda to 0, Unautonomous to 5. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.